When it comes to my past with Super Sentai, it's something I didn't really avoid, but it wasn't something I had on my radar at all times. I've seen the classics, Kakuranger, love that one. Fell in love, the music, the cast, the aesthetic, amazing. Dairanger, another banger. Just the stuff that Power Rangers never got. But then I saw Zyuranger, and let's just say I watched about 3 episodes because I did not like it, and I have no intention of finishing it.
That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
But other than that, I saw Gokaiger, Go-Busters, some Kyoryuger, the superhero Tyson movies. Those were always fun to watch. And a bit of Lupinranger versus Patranger, which that was the last Sentai, current Sentai that I was watching. The only modern Reiwa-Era Sentai I ever watched was 1 episode of Zenkaiger, which I liked, but I guess I just didn't feel like continuing it. And you know what? Even King-ohger, the topic of this video, I wasn't really getting into until I saw this picture. Wow, isn't this tough? Doesn't this go hard? Feel free to screenshot. Don't mind the human guy in your screenshot. Just look at the suits, they're fine. So inspired by this image and with Power Rangers on hiatus, and now I guess Super Sentai on hiatus too, I decided to dive into the 47th Super Sentai series, Ohsama Sentai King-ohger.
And now a word from our sponsor, Arena Club.
Do you ever look out and get nostalgic about the old days in elementary school, trading cards with friends in the playground? Well, with today's sponsor, Arena Club, that magic has been brought back. With many types of actual graded cards to pull, and a list of percentages to check out from the many different card types, from soccer to superheroes and many more, why not open one? Crazy animation, okay. Thor, hey! Hey, look at it twirl, look at it twirl, look at it twirl, hey, 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 hey. So Arena Club is asking me for $207 with the value of $230, but to be honest, I'm gonna keep it in my showroom and maybe I'll save it for later. But it's your turn to rip. Go to arenaclub.com/Este and use code Este to get 20% off your first slab pack or card. And I'll see you at the club of cards.
2,000 years ago, on the planet Chikyu, the underground empire Bugnarok tried to conquer the world and exterminate humanity. To thwart this, Chikyu's guardian, King-ohger, selected 5 warriors to help defeat the Bugnarok. Upon their victory, the Bugnarok vowed to return in 2,000 years. To ensure future protection, King-ohger was divided into its component SHU-GODS, each assisting a warrior who would become a king, founding the 5 kingdoms of SHU-GODS, Nkasopa, Ishibana, Gokon, and Tofu. The legend was passed down through the ages. In the present, as the return of the Bugnarok approaches, the current kings of the 5 kingdoms will try to form an alliance to combat the threat. However, King Raklius Husty of SHU-GODS would refuse to join the alliance, desiring to become the sole ruler of Chikyu under his vision of great justice, regardless of any cost that would come to him. However, there was a young orphan named Gira. Disgusted by Rakli's ruthless ambition, Gira would steal his Ohger caliber and would become the chosen warrior. Gira would declare himself the king of evil, vowing to oppose Rakli's ideology and work with the help of the other kings, which are the other characters of the show: President Yamagast of Nkasopa, Queen Himeno Ran of Ishibana, Chief Justice Rita Kaniska of Gokon, and Overlord Kaguri Debowski of Tofu. And I think the first episode did a great job of showing how this plot would go down, and the couple episodes that would follow the premiere episode would slowly introduce the other Rangers and give us a great chance to learn about them one by one.
Now, throughout the first 25 episodes of the show, you really got to see the King-ohger team become a team. Initially, since they're all from their separate kingdoms, they're always bickering and arguing about something, a really specific problem that's going on in their kingdom. And like real life and politics or whatever, people don't agree. So that often leads to conflicts and people be actually fighting each other in these kingdoms. And it's usually up to Gira, our red senshi here, to really try to unite everybody together as one. Because, you know, the real task at hand is, yo, we gotta stop the Bugnarok and whatever they're doing, and also defy Rakli's at every point he gets. I don't like this guy. I wanted him to go down from day one. So the pacing of these episodes, I thought, did a great job in forming the characters and relationships and really trying to learn from each one of the individual members, really as individuals, and not even just that, learn about their friends, their people, their kingdom, their culture, their ways of doing, and I think that was just amazing. It's something that I haven't really seen from Super Sentai before, unless someone else tells me in the comments. I'm not that educated. Through the good and bad, these 5 heroes, Slater, 6, 7, they are connected by a single event. That being the Wrath of God disaster that happened 15 years before the events of the show. Everybody in this event lost someone significant or had something really bad happen to them. The only one who isn't really connected to this event is Gira himself. So it's usually that shared experience, mainly around the first 4 in the beginning parts of the show, that really has each of these characters open up about the trauma and about what happened so that they can really bond as a group. This show also does a great job at showing each of these kingdoms individually, and more specifically on how they're presented, unlike any other Super Sentai show in the past. You know, I gotta state the obvious, King-ohger isn't shot like a regular Super Sentai series. It's shot on maybe not a green screen like I am right now, but a full-on like video board. You're in a studio filming it with the camera combined with CGI technology of the environment around. The world of King-ohger is so grand and it makes it a spectacle to watch. These tracking film screens are similar to what other big studios like Disney does with The Mandalorian, and honestly, it's really good technology, even though I guess this cheaper version that they may have used for Sentai does have its flukes here and there, and sometimes it's nice to laugh at them, because what is Super Sentai if not laughing at the silly effects? But the fact that they even did this and did all that work really shows a lot. It gives the show an anime feel, and for me as a viewer, really made me feel like I'm part of this world.
SHU-GODS hosts the strongest power with its medieval look and castle, ruled by Rakles, the antagonist king. Rakles overall is a great character, even though I've been talking so much evil smack about him, but in my opinion it was a fantastic idea to have someone to root against who isn't technically a villain, showing the true evil that humans can't commit, contrasting with Gira, who finds his place and meaning with the other kings, becoming an annoying goody-goody two-shoes protagonist. He's annoying, but you gotta love him. Nkasopa is the world of technology, where democracy rules and everyone has a computer. I wonder how their screen time is. I'm going about 18 hours. I bet at this point everyone's just watching too many Subway Surfer Family Guy clips on their phone. I don't blame them, I'd be doing it too. It's ruled by Yamagast, a kid from the slums who rose to power through his tech skills. Being from the tech world, he is the brains of the group, and with his intelligence, is not afraid to call people out for their BS. He's relatable and laughable at times, calling his people slimy tanukis. I love that. Now, Ishibana is the land of beauty and free healthcare, aka Canada. Ruled by the elegant Himeno Ran, the multi-haired queen. For real though, she's got so many wigs. Who's her wig person? I want to know.
Do you wear wigs? Maybe.
Initially seen as a selfish, spoiled princess, I would kind of compare her to Summer from Power Rangers RPM. She reveals herself to be a crazy badass who cares deeply for her people's happiness. And throughout the show, even with the rotten sides of her, have great beauty. And the land that she rules contains my favorite side character, by the way, Sebastian, who is always there with her sword ready for battle, taking care of things as a nice old man, which later on has a few shining moments and a whole episode dedicated to himself. Love Sebastian. Gokon is the icy land ruled by Rita, the non-binary Purple Ranger and Chief Justice, which by the way, the first Purple Ranger be part of the core team. How cool is that? Rita is a great character, with the emotional depth making them mature and sometimes cold, which leads to some badass moments, like everybody else has. And like I said, Rita is also non-binary, only being referred to as a king. And a quick behind the scenes fact on that, when they were casting Rita, people of any gender could come audition. And it was the performance of a gender neutral hero that mattered. Woke alert, woke alert. That's a few people in the comments right now talking.
Liberal, happy fun, la la la.
But overall, this just adds more depth into their character's identity and personality as a fair judge, as well as royalty. Like, they got their own spin-off comic, And they also got this magical eye too. Very dramatic, but also very funny. Shout out Mofun. I'm sure Bro and Snoopy could be very good friends. The Abomination from Monsters Inc. in cute anime form. You gotta love that too. Tofu is home to our Black Ranger and the land of food ruled by Kaguri Debowski. The guy is known for double betrayals and doing anything for his country. To be honest, he is an unpredictable character, but I love the energy. It's a little insane. He has the great facial expressions out of all of them, and overall, just a fun character to watch. We also get the 6th Ranger of the team with Jeremy Brasidi, who becomes the king of his own and adds more mystery to the story of King-ohger, who would actually be the one telling the story of King-ohger, initially being a forgotten part of the story. So the moves he makes does make his own mark in his own story, and he is Spider-Man. He's literally the Spider-Man of the group and my favorite King-ohger. Now, the supporting cast of these different kingdoms would also enhance the richness of the King-ohger world with well-developed characters like retainers and citizens that would add a lot of depth and realness into each of these little worlds. Like I said, my favorite being Sebastian already, but there's so many lovable ones. Each have a great backstory and provide for many funny moments, but it does provide for weird matchups. Like, you know, you got a gang of gamers and then kids and then a masked man. It's definitely a lineup. There are 2 main antagonists in the first half of the show. We have the obvious monster dude, Death in a Rock, who I found to be quite poetic actually and merciless for his time, being ran by the dishonor and disrespect of the people against the Bugnarok. Even though he has all these villainous tropes that every Sentai villain has, his suit sure is very scary, and I was terrified a few times watching Bro. Rackley's the other main antagonist, not antagonist in a way. After hearing his backstory and motivation, he's a very intricate character. You know, you're watching this and you want him to fail in many ways, but you also see that he becomes a King-ohger of his own, being the gray version of Kuwagata-ohger, called Kuwagata-ohger. Great name, guys. Let's keep it going. But this guy definitely has a big impact and a real stamp on the King-ohger story.
Comic question of the day, guys. If you were to live in the King-ohger world of Chikyu, what kingdom would you be living in? Me personally, I want to live in that technological world, man. Imagine me playing Fortnite every day for the rest of my life with my chug jug and everything. Damn, that sounds fun. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and leave a like to lock in your answer. 2,000 likes. I'll do more videos just like this one. Who wants more Super Sentai reviews? Which one should I do next? Well, let me know in the comments. Now, I gotta talk about one of my favorite parts of King-ohger. It's the suits. All right, the suits go so tough. And there's capes. I love a good cape from time to time. The overall insect theme that they got going on here goes really well with the SHU-GODS, the mech, and it's just so much fun. I want like the DX King-ohger sword. I actually want the CSM version that's like full size. That's a few $300. I gotta find that. Maybe they'll accept Klarna. I gotta check on that. So we got stag beetles, we got dragonflies, praying mantis, butterfly, hornets, and golden tarantula. I love how Bro says it's one of my favorite swords here. It's the overall mech of the show. There's 12 of them. A classic number, by the way, when it comes to Zords, especially when they all come together and make the Ultra Zord of the season. Like, you know, RPM, Go-Onger, they had 12 Zords. That's perfect. King-ohger replicates that very well with how their mech transformation is. The DX King-ohger toy is also a really cool way of depicting, you know, the mech as a toy form. Also something I want. It's in my eBay cart. And you know, I gotta mention the Megazord and the Mecha because they also implement that with this whole CGI world that we got going on. They combine in-suit fighting with CGI Mecha, and I think it had a really nice balance and it looked really well on screen. There's things you can do in CGI that you can't do in a suit. I feel like we're at a point now in the 2020s where we can do just that. The cockpits are sick as well. You gotta mention a good cockpit. They're all like individual, doing their own little thing, but it's just so cool just seeing them do their little movements in their Pacific Rim style. I never seen the movie. And you know, my favorite mecha of them all, King Tarantula, held by the 6th Ranger of the series. He is my fave character in the show, by the way, and he's just part of many great moments that happen in this show. Like the royal fights that we have between Gira and Rackley's. Absolute cinema. Also the introduction of the King-ohger crown, which I wish I could put on my head. Can we add that in post? Is that a thing? Am I just raising the crown up and down? Is that too much work? I'll keep it stationary. I'll stand still, huh? Can't do this, IRL. A crown is too expensive at Party City. And you know, the first finale of the show, because yes, KingOhger has 2 different finales. They had a big mecha battle there, and it's just a classic, you know, Sentai epicness moments that you just gotta love and appreciate. I miss Super Sentai already. I'm not gonna start crying. The only hiccups I say the show would have, especially in this first beginning, is episode 21, which is a flashback episode of the last 20 episodes, like not even of the whole show. We could have done something else, guys. But whatever, all right? We also saw the most middest dance in Super Sentai history with CGI Kamen Rider Geats. What is he doing there? What kingdom is he from? Bro thinks he's part of the team now. I'm sorry, but the TikTokification of Sentai dances is upon us. And maybe that's why the show is dead. They're gonna hate me in the comments. They're gonna hate me in the comments. Now, halfway through the show, there's of course the classic Super Sentai summer movies, and we got that with KingOhger Adventure Heaven, which I rated on my Letterboxd, by the way. Go follow me on Letterboxd. Link in the description. I watch a lot of movies, and I gave this one 3 stars. Did some social class talk, but really just a side quest. Looks cool though. Thank you, 2024 me. It was pretty mediocre. Although, in a surprising twist, elements and characters from this movie get involved in the KingOhger TV series in the second half, which I don't really see a lot in the Super Sentai summer movies. Again, prove me wrong in the comments. But yeah, the second half of the show is when things really get interesting. Also, guys, if you're not in the E Squad already, there's like hundreds of thousands of us, all right? Subscribe and ring notification bell to join the E Squad today. E Squad comment question of the day. I don't know what it is right now because the video's not edited, but it's probably funny and it has the E-Squad in it. Leave a comment down below, put the E-Squad in it, and you'll be in the next video. I promise.
Midway through the show, we got a 2-year time skip introducing Dairanger, a universe god who watches the civilizations through his outer space cube, and he's the one that can destroy people with ease and prefers to let them fight amongst themselves. Now, even though this character does add a new dynamic to the show, it also prevents a challenge in scaling fights. It's a problem in any show where you have a universal, limitless, powerful villain who can just snap anybody away, no Thanos. It kind of messes up the scale of things and how the Rangers are able to fight him. To me, it just isn't preferable in any type of story. But he is scarier than Deathnarok because his suit is apparently a dead Red Ranger. Yeah, bro decapitized him and took his body, added a cool cape, called it a day. It's a very bad day because this guy is powerful, evil, and has a terrible, scary backstory.
Now, initially, when I was looking at the poster for the second part of KingOhger, it was giving me like a Cosmic Fury type vibe. I thought we were going to space, we were gonna go out of Chikyu, and we're gonna go do little things, I don't know, explore the universe. They didn't do that, but it was cool. And while speaking of Cosmic Fury, fun fact I have here on my script, action director Yun Watanabe was the action director of KingOhger as well. And their role in Cosmic Fury was the second unit director for episodes 4 through 7. I see some inspiration there. It was pretty sick. Now, the second half of the show dives into more intricate personal issues. Those with the kingdoms, we're getting more deeper into the characters because we're hitting a time jump, all right? We're going to the future. It's a cool setup. The Rangers got some new clothes and they generally just look like a more mature team. But personally, I felt like they kind of went through all that a little too quickly, like, oh, we're broken up. Oh, we're back together now. Like, it felt like the Scooby-Doo live action movie, like where they broke up and they're on a plane and I guess we're back together now, mystery gang. But yeah, by the end of the first few episodes, it just felt like a regular Sentai again. So I guess the time jump is only a setting change. It doesn't really do too much for the show overall.
We also get a mid-season crossover with Kyoryuger, celebrating its 10th anniversary. The KingOhger team is sent to Earth in the middle of a Death Boss revival, leading to a Kyoryuger reunion and a new form combining powers from both teams. I never saw Kyoryuger, I only saw the music movie and the Go-Busters movie. I guess Superhero Tyson Z is also one of their movies. The 10 Years After movie. I still never saw an episode of the show. You can mention that in the comments. But I'll be honest, the crossover with KingOhger here didn't really drill in those elements from the show. It only featured about less than 5 of the main Rangers from the cast of Kyoryuger, as well as some previous villains, providing some good payoff from the original series, as well as having elements from Kyoryuger that can be seen in future episodes of the show, which I think is really cool for keeping the whole show connected in its story. Whether it's very randomly like a little cameo or good story moments for weapons or mecha battles. And combining the two series so that one would connect to the other in the whole Bugnarok world is definitely a unique way. And here in this crossover is when we found out that their castle turns into a spaceship. Cosmic Fury, man, the comparisons keep coming. KingOhger and Cosmic Fury are literally cousins.
Also, I gotta mention about another crossover that KingOhger had. Some people might glance over it. I know the Kyoryuger one was really cool, but there's a bigger crossover in KingOhger, okay? And that is the crossover with Jeffrey the giraffe, the mascot of Toys R Us. They are canon in the KingOhger universe. Toys R Us is very much alive in Chikyu. And he's got some Jeffrey plushes for all the kids to have.
I wanna be a Toys R Us kid.
Which you can buy in stores now, and also probably at your local Macy's. Just go up to the 3rd floor, or the section that isn't full of empty shelves. That was a Macy's diss. You know, to be honest, this was kind of iconic. Why has Power Rangers not done this with, you know, the Bullseye dog from Target? Huh? That makes complete sense. Let's just have capitalism take over all of our shows' creative story writing, huh?
The final 10 episodes of the series really wraps it up though, kicking it into overdrive with no operation. With the KingOhgers getting their ultimate powers and taking down the demons from the past, and provided for some of the most in-depth character analysis that I've seen from Super Sentai, especially when it comes with connections from their past, present, and future of their kingdoms. Also, screw that one guy who's always screaming at them and switching sides. Bro was my biggest op. Bro is a roller coaster. Also, there were too many episodes that included turning Rangers into kids or having kid-like elements. The body swap episodes are always overdone aspect, and to a certain point, you guys are running out of ideas because this is getting old and tiring. I don't like it, but whatever, because you know what? The finale is what makes it worth it all.
The finale of the show, which I watched in its movie format, by the way, that they released it in, made me cry multiple times. I was very emotionally invested in this show. The final 3 episodes were emotional and epic. The 2 E's that I need. I guess the third E would be Este. Este's emotionally epic time. The show used our attachment to the characters, the relationships, and the worlds, the kingdoms itself, to deliver one of the greatest Super Sentai endgames that I've ever seen. Unless you prove me wrong in the comments. With an awesome, you know, final fight, an awesome mecha fight, and just an overall awesome time and a great way to end off a Sentai of this size. Guys, I can't recommend KingOhger enough. It's a fantastic show that stands very much strong on its own and made me realize when I was watching it that we don't need Power Rangers anymore. We really don't. When they're making stuff like KingOhger, something this creatively different and something that hasn't been seen and always making new revolutionary new steps in the tokusatsu media format, like Power Rangers can go bye-bye. We got Super Sentai now. Then again, I wrote that script in 2024, and now, while I'm here, 2026, Super Sentai's over. And we got Gavan Infinity now. So, I guess all we need is Gavan. Maybe they can do cool things. KingOhger should just be the base of what new age tokusatsu media can be like. It's a testament to the wide appeal and creativity that the Super Sentai series had itself in its final years, blending traditional elements with modern technology. That is the tokusatsu of the future. Especially when it comes to Power Rangers, on how they reboot the show, they could take a page from the KingOhger book and try to do some really cool things with the show. The characters are well developed, I love them, and the storyline is both epic and emotionally resonant. And Este, Triple E, remember that from a few minutes ago? So while Power Ranger holds a special place in my heart and all of your hearts in the comments down below, KingOhger proves that Super Sentai can stand on its own without having to do things the Power Rangers way, delivering a superhero team that is both captivating and very unique. So if you're looking for a fresh take and fresh tokusatsu, give KingOhger a try. My rating, 4.5 out of 5. Thank you so much for watching this KingOhger review. I've been wanting to do this video for so long, and I love KingOhger with all my heart. What do you guys think about the show? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, DDonFuego, on Instagram, Not Don Fuego. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, as always, just